Hello friends and welcome to another episode of Bollywood This Week. Friends, I'm just back from the special screening of the Hollywood movie The Revenant directed by Mr. Alejandro G. Inarritu. Obviously, he's the guy who had directed, the Birdman last year and had taken away all the Oscars. Friends, obviously, we are not capable and we are not educated enough to review this movie called as Revenant, and we people from the Bollywood, as we call it, have no right even to review this masterpiece called as a Revenant, because I heard a thousand of things about this movie doing so good, this movie being so fabulous, spectacular, and when I went on this movie, I just came out so surprised. This movie is a stellar, friends. I have no words to explain to you how Revenant is. I'm just gonna come back to the review fast and forward. The Revenant has been directed by obviously the genius, the legendary Alejandro G. Inarritu. It is produced by Aaron Milchan, obviously Inarritu himself, Mary Parent. Screenplay has been given by Mark Smith and Inarritu. Special mention to the music and the background score by Alva Noto, Ryunichi Sukanoto, and cinematography by Emmanuel Lurinsky is kick-ass, friends. Shooting in such locales, in the forests, in the snow is fabulous, especially the water sequences in the start of the movie. It is just kick-ass, and by Stephen Mirononi. The editing of this movie is just zip it. The editing, all the guys, the AG people who have done editing courses from New York or Australia must go and learn from Stephen Mineroy how to edit a movie. So, friends, starting with the story, obviously, this movie is being based by a novel by Michael Punke, and this movie starts. Let's see what the story of the much hyped movie Revenant, which releases India this Friday. I'm giving this review to you on a Thursday. Watch this review and don't miss Revenant. Watch it in an IMAX screen, even if the ticket is for 500 bucks. So, friends, the movie starts. This is not a story of now, not a 20th century. We taken back to something 1830s, where there are a group of people, going against the tribal people. There are two groups of people, one is the tribal people and one is the group of Americans. It is obviously, the story takes place in Dakota, where these guys steal pelts of animals and take it away to their places. Suddenly, the native people, the people living in the area, the local people, we can, tell the local gang of people of Dakota attack them. And this gang is obviously run by Mr. Glass. Glass is Leonardo DiCaprio. I pray to God this bugger just gets the Oscars for it, because I tell you why. While the review moves forward, we're gonna know why Leonardo DiCaprio and no one else deserves an Oscar. So the natives, suddenly, while Leonardo DiCaprio and his friends, along with Tom Hardy and Jim Bridger, steal the pelts and they're on a verge of escaping. They're camping around and these guys attack them. And a gory, censor board of India should be given 100 marks for this. Dude, not a scene has been cut from the Hollywood version. Just few scenes of abuse and little scenes of blood have been muted of the Indian version. I don't know what version you guys will see on Friday, because it's a special screening. I had seen Hateful Eight, the all gory version, but we went to the theaters on Friday. It was a completely different version. So that version may differ, but the version we saw today as a special press screening was fabulous. Bloody gory fight. All these guys of Leonardo DiCaprio and Tom Hardy are killed. Leonardo DiCaprio Glass eventually is the only person who knows how to escape to Fort Kinowa. Fort Kinowa is a place where all these guys are located in the snowy region. Who obviously Glass, along with his son Hawk, who is half Chinese and half American, obviously because Leonardo DiCaprio marries a half Chinese woman, and Tom Hardy and Jim Bridger, and they are, the leader of the gang, Henry. All these people, somewhat escape from these, the localites, and they run away. They are trying to move away in a ship to obviously Fort Kinowa. Suddenly, all these people, out of them, Tom Hardy, who is just a motherfucker. Let me tell you this. This guy acts like an absolute legend. I mean, obviously in the legend he was fabulous, and he starts doubting Leonardo DiCaprio. One thing, let me tell you, all the Americans who go against the localites are scalped. I mean, the hair from this portion to here has been removed, not shaved, but removed from the scalp, and this is a sign they have been caught by the local people. So he tells them Leonardo DiCaprio was the only person who did not get any hurt or bruises, and I think Leonardo DiCaprio is the person who is involved with these localite people. So these Tom Hardy, apart from all these people, doubt Glass, that is Leonardo DiCaprio. But one day when they're camping in the village, Leonardo DiCaprio encounters a grizzly bear. Oh ma! Indians should go and bury themselves, especially the makers of Bahubali and Puli. Just see the VFX. That bear is a human being. The scene between the grizzly bear and Leonardo DiCaprio, the grizzly bear pounces on him, scratches him, pangs him, tears him apart, and Leonardo DiCaprio fights with the bear. For God's sake, that scene when it came on IMAX 4K digital, I felt this numb in my screen, numb in my seat. I was like, oh God. I had a tub of popcorn in my hand and I couldn't eat it. Leonardo DiCaprio fights a bear and eventually stabs him. The bear, falls on Leonardo DiCaprio, and Leonardo DiCaprio is found almost half dead. All these troops, Tom Hardy and their leader Henry, along with son Hawk and Jim Bridger, try to rescue Leonardo DiCaprio. Mind you, Leonardo DiCaprio, that is the only scene where Leonardo DiCaprio is on his legs before the bear scene. After that, 1.5 hour movie, Leonardo DiCaprio doesn't walk in the movie. He's injured and he's just on himself. Just imagine the legend guy Leonardo DiCaprio is. And these guys take him and they think he's gonna die. But Henry, being a good guy, he is the head of the gang, offers money, double the amount, to any person who's gonna take care of Leonardo DiCaprio while these people make move to Fort Kinowa. Tom Hardy, the asshole he is, he wants just to kill Leonardo DiCaprio because there's some grudge with him. One day has a tiff with his son Hawk and kills Hawk away. So Hawk is dead. Leonardo DiCaprio sees this, and Tom Hardy tells Jim Bridger that these local people are following them. He's just seen them lakeside, and we need to leave Leonardo DiCaprio there and then and just fuck off from here. So these guys go and bury Leonardo DiCaprio, and Jim Bridger takes his drinking water bottle and leaves from there. Tom Hardy tells Jim Bridger, don't tell anybody that we buried him alive. And Leonardo DiCaprio, oh God, I mean, you've seen so many movies. The dead guy waking up, especially Uma Thurman in Kill Bill. She's half dead and she wakes up. Leonardo DiCaprio, the act of his life, I mean, this guy's a legend. This guy wakes up and somehow makes his way to the snowy hills. Movie moves forward and Tom Hardy and Jim Bridger reach Fort Kinowa. But Leonardo DiCaprio encounters a guy known as Hikuk. He's a half Chinese and a local guy who helps, in putting, some kind of medicational herbs. Remember the stories, 1820s, apart from some stitches on the body of Leonardo DiCaprio, nothing, very relevant is seen. So he helps in rescuing. But one day, Hikuk, the guy who saved Leonardo DiCaprio, is found hanging. There were some localites hanged him and went away. So Leonardo DiCaprio somewhat escapes from there and is little bit hale and hearty and walks. And there is another story moving forward. There is an Arikara group who have their daughter known as Puwaki, who has been kidnapped by the local people. There's a French association also along with the localites who deals with pets and horses. They are going to rape Puwaki. So Leonardo DiCaprio rescues Puwaki and runs away from there. Then Tom Hardy and Jim Bridger reach Fort Kinowa and tell them that Leonardo DiCaprio Glass is dead. So, Henry, who had offered the money, double amount, gives the money to Tom Hardy, telling you at least tried to rescue him. You buried him, that's good. But Jim Bridger doesn't take the money. He knows what the truth is. Leonardo DiCaprio was alive. These assholes buried him alive. And Tom Hardy shamelessly lives his life away. One day, suddenly, a guy brings the water bottle of, Leonardo DiCaprio, and these guys in the Fort Kinowa come to know that Leonardo DiCaprio is alive. Henry is hellbent. He comes to know that Tom Hardy has fooled these guys, and Tom Hardy comes to know this and runs away. Suddenly makes entry after living the whole night in a horse's body. Leonardo DiCaprio cuts a horse's body and goes inside, removing all the intestine, and lives whole night inside, and is alive. Comes to Fort Kinoa and tells, "I am gonna find Tom Hardy and the guy who killed my son Hawk." They obviously, Henry and Leonardo DiCaprio go to search Tom Hardy. They find him in a hill, but Tom Hardy shoots Henry, and Leonardo DiCaprio, very excellent climax, fabulous climax, friends. Leonardo DiCaprio himself acts as a dead Henry and makes Henry drive the horse, and Tom Hardy thinks that Henry is not dead. He's driving the horse. He shoots, but the bullet hits Henry. He's dead. Tom Hardy gets up and runs and finds Leonardo DiCaprio on the horse. And Leonardo DiCaprio, fabulous. And the end is killer. You have to see the end. He eventually, Leonardo DiCaprio sees his dead wife and remembers, what Hickok said, that, about forgiveness, cuts Tom Hardy's hand, blood and gore, and eventually sees, obviously, Powagi, the girl he saved him, and leaves Tom Hardy, who floats in the river, obviously will die. This is a movie, Revenant. I mean, Inarritu is a legend. Coming to the plus points of The Revenant, I mean, the start, the Bear Grizzly scene where Leonardo DiCaprio fights the bear. CG at its best, VFX at its best. I don't think any Indian movie will come any close to it. The horse scene when Leonardo DiCaprio cuts a horse, removes the intestine and goes inside is fabulous in the movie. Tom Hardy, I mean Brothers, the acting of Brothers, what he did in Brothers, obviously legend, is kick-ass. The son Hawk is very emotional scene between Tom Hardy and Hawk. The death scene where Tom Hardy kills Hawk is fabulous in the movie. The whole Fort Kinoa created, where Tom Hardy obviously eats his, chicken broth and is, shameless about, burning alive, Leonardo DiCaprio is fabulous. Leonardo DiCaprio is a legend. If Leonardo DiCaprio doesn't get the Oscar this year, all the people in the Oscars will fuck themselves. Seriously. Leonardo DiCaprio deserves an Oscar for this movie, friends. It's a kick-ass movie. Coming to the minus point of this movie, Indian audiences obviously are not used to sitting in such kind of movies. I have known some friends who have told that they hateful it is the most worst movie they have seen. Boring, snow. Friends, if you feel you're gonna go for a boring movie, don't go for Revenant. Your presence in the theater will be what do you call sharam. For you people to be in the theater, it will be a sinful thing. Don't go for this movie. This movie is a legendary stuff. We Indians don't deserve it. I mean, I am not capable to review this legendary movie called Revenant. No Indian is fucking, Revenant to review the Revenant because it's a legendary movie. I give Revenant 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. No rating, friends, for this movie. It's a 10 on 10 movie. Don't miss Revenant this Friday, friends. This is the movie of the year. Leonardo DiCaprio, my friend, inshallah, you get the Oscar this year. So friends, keep watching Bollywood this week. Like and subscribe to this channel and don't comment fuck, okay, on my channel because I know what I'm reviewing.